Afternoon. This is my little fat friend, Think Babe. First time I've had him. I've had him for, I think, just a couple of weeks, maybe a touch over a couple of weeks. Come on, buddy, let's go. And he, I mean, obviously I know he's a horse, but as far as a horse is concerned, he is a very sexy individual. He is a very nice-looking horse. As soon as he turned up, obviously I've never had him before. I've never actually seen him except for on the TV in his races. And I saw him standing in the yard, and Darren was just putting the door up on the truck, and I was coming in on for Largo, and I said, "Is that Think Babe?" And I don't know whether he was surprised I knew who it was, but with that forelock, I mean, you just can't miss him. But he's a very nice horse, as you know. He's funny because he's got quite a big head and he's got big legs, but he didn't really grow, so he's sort of only about 15'2", but he's sort of this ball of muscle. He's just this round muscle on top of muscle, and he's a glorious colour. He's what I class as a mahogany bay. He's actually got a bit of a burgundy colour through him, which you can't see because he's covered in dust. Yeah, he's really gorgeous, and obviously his form suggests that he's been a very good horse, particularly in that first prep. And obviously his last 3 runs, last preparation, suggested that he needed gelding because he was a little bit vocal about the chicks next door. And look, so obviously, I mean, he raced, I think, on the 16th of October, so he's had a very short break, and I don't think he was spelled for any other reason than to take his knackers out. And so they are gone, and he was healed up when he arrived, but he still had just a little bit of a pink opening of the wound, but nothing major. And the work's good for him anyway, because it makes them work off that scar tissue and stuff like that, so it's good. So because I didn't know him, and I knew he was a nice horse, he has actually had a few mannerism problems, which we have had some serious discussions about, and just little things like just a bit sort of piggy and reluctant, and a bit sort of doggy in the mouth as well, not listening and stuff like that. But he's much better now. He doesn't take on the fight, so I've taught him right from wrong a bit, and got him a bit softer in the jaw, and got him to round up and to think and stuff like that. And he didn't really argue with me much. He's actually quite obliging, but obviously has just got away with a little bit. You see, there's no cars coming. And even in the wash bay, he's a bit shitty. Doesn't like you hosing his head and stuff like that. So I've made him get his head hosed and done a few things like that. And sometimes it's not necessarily because they're sweaty and they need their head hosed. It's just because if I want to do it, he has to say okay. It's no different than you turn up on race day and say, "Come on, bud, we want you to win this race." He can't just start thinking of other things and thinking, "I don't want to do it." He's got to say, "Okay, I'm going to put my best foot forward." And that's sort of what discipline and mannerisms are all about. So hopefully with this change of environment as well, like, the roads and things to look at and stuff like that, he might go a little bit sweeter into this preparation as well. But I do believe the 2-stone lighter is going to help him, because he won't be wolf whistling at the girls in the barriers. So I had his older brother by Time Thief, and they're actually very similar in type, as in short, stocky, nice movers, nice to ride. Unfortunately, the older brother didn't race. He had an accident early in one of his preps. But they are actually very similar. But this guy's pretty special. He's got nice action. But I did have to ring Darren about, I guess, 4 or 5 days ago. You have to excuse my voice, hasn't come back yet. About 4 or 5 days ago, because he hits himself behind and then goes a bit sore, and you think he's going to have a big chunk out of him and be sore, but when you get back off him, he hasn't got a mark on him, but he does go lame for a bit, and then he trots out of it, and then he hits himself again, and then he goes lame again. So I rang Darren and said, "Look, I think we've got a problem behind. Are you aware of this?" And it's lucky that people do communicate with Darren, because he was aware of it, that he used to do it, and they used to put back boots on him and stuff to stop him from doing it. And but he thought that he had stopped doing it, but he was obviously doing it, like I knew in the first sort of 3 or 4 rides on him that he was doing it, and he has already done it today now. And so from that discussion with Darren, we put a plan together that Bruce Marsh would come and do his muscle work on him, which he's already done once with him, and he was a bit trapped up behind. and then he's going to come and do him at least 2 more times before he goes. So he will have a short prep with me because he hasn't been out for very long. So he's already been to the track. He went yesterday for the first time. I was going to do a bit of 3/4 work with him, but he was actually a little bit anxious and a bit sort of revvy, and yeah, just a bit sort of worked up. So I actually only did 2 laps of slow work and just gave him a really good experience, and he'll go again on Saturday if we don't get this inches and inches of rain that they forecast. And he can do a bit of 3/4 on Saturday. So I just like him to go a bit nicer, that's all. And he does overwork himself a bit. He can get quite sort of sweaty and worked up, particularly if I've had to educate him on his manners. But he's pretty cool and calm today. You can see with his ears pricked. He enjoys it out here. So we'll make sure that he gets sent to Darren Weir in the best possible condition, soundness-wise and weight-wise and mental state, so that you guys can win plenty of races. I mean, he's without a doubt city class horse. We know that with that second that he ran in town in his first prep. So I'm very happy to have him. I like special horses. A bit different, you know, some of them are like Mack trucks and he's like a Porsche. Come on, bud. So I'm just doing a short video here for you today. So I'll take him down to the bottom of the hill, probably canter him up the hill, and then I'll switch you off and I'll give you some video of his track work. But he's only having an easy day today because he went to the track yesterday. Come on, buddy. You know, no need to just keep boring the work into them day after day after day. You can ride them and work them, but you don't have to go hard all the time. Particularly the hard surfaces of this. Well, it's not quite summer. It's last Thursday in spring, but it's summer on the weekend, and it's been hard and dry already, hasn't it? Come on, bud. Come on. So you can see he's pretty uncomplicated, doesn't do a lot wrong. He's having a look at those other horses there now. You can see his ear slightly looking left, that left ear is just slightly cocked. That's him just checking them out, but he's not reacting to them or making my life hard, and it's good. Come on. A bit scary with all these logs and stuff going on, and butterflies in front of him. Come on, buddy. Come on, boy. So he can just go down here, and whoa, buddy boy. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. A bit of flexion through the body, bud. Come on. No, put your head down. Oh, he says he's going to have a bit of a fight. And this is what he gets worked up about. So he's jammed in the rib cage. I want to turn around, but he wants to just drop his shoulder and spin around. And I don't want him to do that. I want him to walk around the corner properly, which he's just worked out. So he's just picked himself up then, and he's walked around the corner. You obviously can't see me kicking him in the belly, but it was me that was causing his head to wave in the air because I was holding onto his mouth saying, no, stay upright, stay straight. He wants to canter up the hill. He's getting a bit frisky. You can just trot until I'm ready. Don't be cheeky. So he's a bit revvy, and so he's going to be a bit naughty, but that's okay. You can see what he's like. He is a bit of an airhead. So I'm going to make him trot up here now because he wants to get going, and that's what I mean by he was anxious at the track and a bit sort of cranky. He wants to get on with it and do it now. And I'm like, no, you can just slow down and do it when I want you to. So I've just kept him together in the hand, made him think a little bit. He's still a bit antsy underneath me. You can see his ears flickering. That's because he's not 100% comfortable. And he would like to be explosive and do something naughty, but to his credit, he's keeping his composure at the moment. And this is about when he starts to sweat, because he doesn't get away with it, and he gets cranky with me, and gets a little bit sort of, anxious, I suppose is the best word for him. So now he has to just trot, because he knows this is going home. Good boy. So he's just starting to relax and trot nicely. That's better, good boy. And that's what I mean by discipline a little bit. You know, it's not about what he wants to do all the time. He's to keep himself together. Good boy. Oh, that was scary. That wasn't naughty. That was mongrel ponies over there. Just frightened you, buddy. Yeah. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. That's better. Now he's trotting nicely and working well. Good boy. Come on. So yeah, I wanted him to canter up there, but I want him to canter civilly and nicely, not being a germ, and he wanted to be a germ. And even now he's ticking a bit, so he's actually going to get a bit more work than what he thought he was going to get now. So he will go, probably come back up this road and canter back up again and use up a bit of his excess energy that makes him silly. But he feels absolutely beautiful now. His action's nice, he's great in the hand. He's trotting out very well, good boy. But I will turn around and come back. I can keep you rolling if you like, so you can see what he's going to do. So if it takes me, 5 or 10 minutes longer to ride him, I don't care. I'm more than prepared. It's not about getting on and just getting on, getting off in 5 minutes time. To me, this free training is all about getting them relaxed and getting their manners right and getting their head right. So that they're focused on what we want them to do and not what they want to do. And I think he's been a little bit spoilt and been doing what he's wanted for a while. It's better. Come on, pay attention. Come on. And he don't look $1,000,000 like he does. I'll give you a look at him. He looks sensational. You can't look $1,000,000 and not have a bit of personality and feeling good, because you are well. You're very well. So he's probably a little bit overfed and underworked, but that's just the way it is at the moment. Once he starts his fast work, then it'll be a different story. Come on. So he's just looking for a little bit of trouble at the moment. He's much better underneath me though. He's not waiting to have the buggers. And you wait till I turn around in a minute, he'll be like, "You've got to be joking me. I don't want to go. I don't want to do this." And all of a sudden, all of his excess energy that he's got right now would have gone blown straight out the window, because he'd be like, "I don't want to do it again." And I'd be like, "Tough shit. Till you get your head straight, you go and do it again." And it might only be a couple 100 metres back up the road, but it's just enough to make him think, "Oh, well, there was no point being naughty. I'm not going home after all." Good boy. Just got a bit of personality, a bit of character. His brother had a bit of character too. Good boy. But he's beautiful in the hand. He used to be a bit solid in the hand, and you can see where he's raced a bit solid because his mouth was a bit marked up too. But I've pulled him around a little bit and kicked him around with my legs, and he's much softer and kinder and listening in the rein. So if I pull this left rein, he looks left, see? Pull this right rein, he looks right. Whereas before, no way, he wouldn't do it. Good boy. But I'm sorry, kid. We're going to pull up. And ooh, he's like, "Hang on a minute, something's going on." And I'm going to make him pick himself up around the corner. Come on. So he's fighting me again for the same thing as before, because I want him to pick his body up and turn around the corner properly and stay good in the hand. And I'm kicking him. See, kick. It says body stay over. So it's like ribs move. So when I turn, he turns in a half circle. See him half circle shape now? Yeah. So that instead, what he would normally do is drop his shoulder and nick around the corner. Now he doesn't want to go, which is what I said to you before, is that he was like, I was being naughty because I was going home. Now he's got to go and do his work again. But he does it. It's not the first time I've had to do this with him. And this time he can canter. Come on, good boy. That's it. Lovely in the hand. Stay focused. Come on. So when I wanted to canter him up the hill before and he was being naughty and I made him trot, he doesn't miss out on his work, because I'm now cantering him now to make him go back away and doing a bit more work. And he had to stay disciplined and behave himself when he wanted to play and be naughty. So he's good boy. So he's on his right leg, right. Doesn't matter going up the road what leg they're on, but just showing you. He's beautiful in the hand. He's straight and he's being nice, so that'll do him. Good boy. And again, I'll turn him to the right. Why I turn him this way all the time, because this is the way he likes to duck around the corner, so I like making him do it properly. Good. So not a big fight this time. See, he's now arced around the turn. Beautiful. Good boy. Soft in the jaw. And now you can trot home. Come on, you know. And now he feels nice underneath me. He's not energetic and silly. Doesn't take much. He's a good boy. So I haven't beaten him up or been hard on him. I've just made him do what I want him to do. Come on. And then eventually he'll give it all away and I won't have to do it all the time. But like, I've only had him for, like I said, 2 weeks. So not very long. It takes a bit to get to know him. It takes a bit for them to get to know what I want of them. And I can be pretty hard on them. But once they get me and they know me, we become pretty good friends pretty quick. And then, you know, if I get them again, they just pick up where they left off, which is beautiful. Good boy. Beautiful boy. He's a beautiful boy. Very nice. He's getting himself a bit hot now. But it is probably, well, I reckon it has to be 29 degrees as well. And it is in the afternoon. What is the time? Yeah, 1:20. That was a bird coming out of the bushes. Not going to kill you. I guess at the end of the day, he's still young. The magpie over there, he'll probably see it. Whoa, whoa. Good boy, good boy, good boy. I sometimes wonder whether his big thick forelock covering his face and his eyes acts like blinkers. See how you can't see his eyes? So you can see his forelock hanging down that side and his forelock hanging down that side. It's like he's got a set of blinkers on. And I think sometimes when the wind changes and his forelock changes and you can see his eye, he can actually see me too. And goes, where the hell did you come from? I have had, so anyway, he can go in home now. And I have had trouble with him being a bit stupid walking home down this driveway. So hopefully he's going to behave himself, or else he'll have to turn around and go back out again. So see, now his forelock's away and he can see me and he's a little bit antsy. And I'm sure it's because he's looking back. There you go. He's looking at me out of that eye. And to be honest with you, what I will probably end up doing with him is plaiting his forelock and opening his face up every day so that he can see me. Because now, you have a look, he's a bit toey and antsy. So he's got a little bit of shit in him. I think when you can see his eye, he can see me. And when you can't see his eye behind his forelock, then he can't see me either. So what I'll probably do is plait his forelock down the front of his face and make him look at me, and make him see me, and make him get used to me sitting on him. And look, I could be completely wrong about this. I mean, I haven't even looked to see whether he races in blinkers or not. And if he does, then this is probably the type of behaviour you would expect from him, because he's got this person behind him that he's a little bit frightened of sitting above him. I'll have a look at his gear and see if he does wear a hood or not. And look, it's not really naughty, but he just gets a bit scooty out from underneath you, like you're trying to run away from me being on him, but he can't because I'm with him. But anyway, that's him, and good luck. I'll get some track work, and I love him. I think he's a very nice horse. I've got a little bit of work to do with him, but that's a good thing. We can probably make him a nicer horse for you. Thanks. I've just switched you back on for Think Babe, and this is him in the wash bay. I just wanted you to have a look at him. You can see what I mean about muscle on muscle. Like he's a strong horse, and he looks very well. You can see he got quite hot with his work. So although it didn't seem like he did a lot of work, he got himself a bit stressed. Mentally got a little bit anxious coming home and stuff, as you know. And it's honestly, I think it's because his big long forelock. See that? It's it hiding. So if I plait it like that to work him, then his eyes are exposed and he can see everything, and then he can just get used to the world. So that's my plan. But I really, really like him. I mean, he's a sexy horse. He's strong. I'll show you him from behind. Over. You can see he is a strong horse. He's what they call cow-hocked. too, so his hocks come in together. He's not standing very cow-hocky there, but he is actually cow-hocked. See, there, you can see his hocks are quite close together, so they come in together, and then he comes back out a little bit towards his feet. That's why he probably feels like he's a little bit funny behind. So we'll investigate all that and make sure that he's 100% when he goes back into Darren Weirs. So that's just his confirmation. So that's him. You're a sexy boy, aren't you? Good boy.